I've saved my progress as variablewithlimbs.ai found inside the 10 Pathfinder folder. In this exercise, we're going to go ahead and take all of these strokes that we've created so far, and we're going to convert them to closed paths because, as you may recall from a few exercises back, I was telling you that the Pathfinder operations, they need closed paths in order to work their magic. You can sometimes work with open paths, but you've got to have fills. You can't just have strokes with no fills, as we have in the case of these tree branches right here. So we're going to take all the strokes, which have been useful so far to us, we're going to convert those over to closed filled paths, and then we're going to combine them together. So I'm going to go ahead and Alt-click or Option-click on the tree lines layer right there to select all of the objects on that layer, and I'm going to change the stroke color to a nice rich black. So I'll go ahead and open the color panel, switch over to the stroke, and I'll go ahead and click on the C to make the cyan value active, and I'll dial in here 50% cyan, 50% magenta, 50% yellow. Black was already 100%, so that looks great. So I just want these tree limbs to really pop against their background. I also want them to trap nicely when we go to print the file. All right, so I'll go ahead and collapse that color panel once again. And then I'll go up to the object menu, I'll choose Path, and I'll choose this guy right there, Outline Stroke. And if you loaded D keys, I gave you a keyboard shortcut of Control / or Command / on the Mac. Now, if you're sitting there wondering, where did I get / from? First of all, of course, it was open. / key wasn't being used, but also take a look. The / key is that same key that you use to get to the line tool. And this is a really great technique of drawing stroked lines using the line tool and then turning around and outlining them. So you choose the Outline Stroke command just by pressing Control / Command / on the Mac, and that goes ahead and converts them to closed filled paths. So you get rid of the stroke, you trace a path around each one of the strokes, and you fill it with whatever color, in our case, rich black. So just choose a command. Notice it does not have a ... after it, no ellipses. Therefore, it does its thing the second you choose a command, and we now have a collection of closed path outlines. That simple. An extremely useful command, by the way, here inside of Illustrator. Now I'll go over to my Pathfinder panel. I want to merge all these limbs together, so the obvious choice is this guy right there, Unite. And you don't have to Alt-click or Option-click. We do not want a compound shape in this case. That would keep every single one of our limb lines. That would be very cumbersome to deal with. You might think it's flexible, but actually it would be a big pain in the neck when you come right down to it. So we're better off just fusing everything together by clicking on Unite, and that's it. The deed is done. Now look at what we've created here. It's a big compound path. And the reason we have a compound path is because we've carved out a lot of holes between these limbs. But just check out what we've managed to do. If we were trying to pull this off using the pen tool, it would take an hour to do this. And I'm not sure we could pull it off this well either. Whereas, because we roughed things in using the line segment tool, we added a few strokes, which was the most complicated part. We adjusted some of those strokes using the width tool. We applied the Outline Stroke command, which is extremely easy. That's a one-shot deal right there. And then we applied the Unite Pathfinder operation. We were able to achieve this effect in a matter of a few minutes. In the next exercise, we're going to begin adding the foliage using the blob brush, which is a kind of Pathfinder operation all its own.